Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star 2 episode number 60 based on novel. So let's start. Chuyuan was filled with anxiety. He instantly arrived above the Marquis mansion and looked far away in the direction of the 1,000-star tower described in the intelligence. His gaze penetrated the barriers of space and saw from afar a silver cage enveloping the 1,000-star tower. The 1,000 stars tower is blocked by a silver cage. What is this silver cage? Chuyuan was suddenly stunned. He clearly remembered the scene when he was in Huyang City, when Luo Feng released the mighty Milky Way and the Milky Way sword light tore through the sky. This silver light seems to be something that Brother Luo He did. The five of Chuyuan Hu and his men were dealing with Brother Luo He, but Brother Luo He not only did not flee, but instead used the silver light cage to seal off the entire battlefield. Emperor Chuyuan sensed something was wrong. However, if the silver cage is blocked, it will be difficult for outsiders to spy on them, and Chuyuan and his men, who have suffered a great loss, will not take the initiative to sell information to the outside world at this time. At this moment, all the major forces in the entire Chu capital received the news and knew that Marquis Chuyuan, Marquis Chuji, and the three guest officials were going to deal with the guest official from Luo He, but the details of the battle were not clear. This madman Chuyuan Hu has really taken action. Emperor Chuyuan only has Luo He as a guest official. If Luo He's real body is destroyed and he loses his weapons and secret treasures, his strength will probably be reduced. The other first-class dukes were very patient, they waited for the outcome of this fight. According to common sense, the guest from Luohe would not have a good ending as he was fighting against 5 people alone. In Chudu, in the cave of great sage Qianyu, in the quiet room where he practiced, a brick on the ground suddenly turned into a figure which was the figure of the green-robed man, great sage Qianyu. Boom, the surging chaotic divine power of the small Ningzhou continued to pour in, causing the body of the great sage Qianyu to gradually recover. My true body was destroyed. Qianyu great sage's face was grim. As a peak Chaos Realm expert, the weapons and treasures he cared about most were all carried close to him, so that he could exert his strongest strength. Only some resources and treasures were temporarily stored in the cave. Fortunately, I became a guest official, and all the merits I accumulated were exchanged for inheritance and resources, and used on myself. Qianyu Great Sage thought that most of the resources accumulated by the strong were invested in cultivation. It allows them to obtain a more powerful inheritance, cultivate to a higher realm, and have stronger secrets. Even if their true bodies die and come back to life, their realms and secrets will not be lost. My 3 major formation diagrams are worth 30 billion cosmic sands, and they are all gone. What the great sage Qianyu was most distressed about were the 3 formation diagrams. I used the formation diagram to control the great formation of heaven and earth, and my strength is twice as strong as it is now. But my formation, in front of Luo He, it is simply a joke. In fact, that formation still has a certain influence on Luo Feng, so Luo Feng was the first to kill Qianyu Great Sage. This time, we have actually provoked a Chaos Realm Transcendent. I'm afraid things won't end so easily. The weak Great Sage Qianyu also came to the sky above the cave, looked in the direction of the 1,000-star tower, and saw the sealed silver cage. For example, the secret method created by the 3 generations of ancestors of the Du and Donghe lineage has the method of Immortal River. Most of the first-level mirrors of the God Kings, which are self-created and inherited, cannot be included in the treasury of the Yangfeng ancient country. The treasury inheritance of the Yangfeng ancient country is very large, and there are naturally many various life-saving secret methods. Luo Feng learned the 8 tribulation life form, in which the first tribulation integrated 3 major branches of the origin of life, and also had many life-saving secret techniques. Although Luo Feng's meditation time was short, he naturally learned 2 life-saving secret techniques. Of course, with Luo Feng's perfect divine body practice transformation method, it would be too difficult to force Luo Feng to use the life-saving secret technique. The silver light cage sealed the entire 1,000-star tower area, cutting the space division. The merchants, servants, and guests in the inner and outer 1,000-star towers were all filled with fear. Although the 1,000-star tower had activated the formation to protect the buildings, the thousand-star tower formation was not qualified to be mobilized, and Chuyuan had no power at all. Therefore, any Chaos Peak Master present can destroy the thousand-star tower if he uses his full strength. Why did the conflict among the first-class dukes happen in our thousand stars tower? Don't let us get involved. They were all very nervous, afraid of being killed. Suddenly, a mighty voice sounded, "We were foolish enough to offend the guest official of Luoha. Please forgive me and spare my real body. I am willing to pay you 10 billion cosmic grains of sand as compensation." The figure of the old man with the golden hoop disappeared, and he could not be seen or touched, but his voice was echoing. "The infinite body is indeed interesting," Luo Feng said. The old man with the golden hoop was comprehending the infinite origin of the Tao. The golden hoop could trap the enemy and make them defenseless. His body was an infinite body, and his ability to escape was also very strong. Among those at the same level, the old man with the golden hoop is more terrifying than Marquis Liu Yin. But the old man with the golden hoop met Luo Feng. Although Luo Feng's realm was inferior, he could rely on the terrifying physical body to break the law directly with force. Now Luo Feng's silver light cage cuts through all spatial layers, leaving only the world membrane wall. There are only a few ways to escape at the Chaos Realm level. Karma escape is one way. Luo Feng can't intercept karma after all. The boundless body of the old man with the golden hoop can't escape. Boom boom. Suddenly, a silver light enveloped the entire thousand-star tower, and in an instant, everything was collected into the star tower. Luo Feng also didn't want to affect the poor practitioners in the thousand-star tower. Guest official Luoha. The voice of the old man with the golden hoop echoed in the air, and he wanted to continue persuading. "They've already attacked me, and you think you can protect your real body with just 10 billion cosmic sands?" Luo Feng laughed. Boom boom. I saw countless galaxy sword lights appearing, 20,000 galaxy sword lights, each of which contained the artistic conception of splitting the sky. These galaxy sword lights did not distinguish between friend and foe, and attacked every corner of the silver light cage at the same time, leaving no blind spots. The basic composition of these 20,000 galactic sword lights is already in the form of yin-yang particles, and their power has been multiplied several times. Coupled with the fact that the number of galaxy sword lights controlled by Luo Feng has increased again, one can imagine how powerful it is. No. The old man with the golden hoop in his boundless body was somewhat desperate. This might cover every part, even Luo Feng himself, leaving the old man with the golden hoop no way to avoid it. At this moment, every part of the entire silver cage was attacked and annihilated. In the infinite form of the golden hoop, every bit of the old man's divine power was also annihilated, leaving only the most tenacious weapon's secret treasure. Luo Feng stood in mid-air, and although the knife light also covered his body, not even a hair was damaged, just like a breeze blowing on his face. Another one has been dealt with. Luo Feng put away the weapons and secret treasures left by the old man with the golden hoop and looked at Chuyuan who. The originally ferocious and crazy Chuyuan who, very rarely, had not taken action. At this moment, most of his black hair had been destroyed by the endless sword light, revealing his tough black skin. "You are stronger than me." Chuyuan who stared at Luo Feng and said in a low voice, "I admit defeat." Luo Feng smiled and looked at Chuyuan who, "I have to look up to you. People say that you, Chuyuan who, are violent and unscrupulous, but you are very well behaved in front of me. Do you know how to admit defeat?" Chuyuan Ho's eyes flashed with thunder, and anger kept burning his soul. However, the repeated sufferings from childhood to adulthood made him understand that he should bow his head when he was weak. "What do you want me to go?" Chuyuan Hu said, "You make the conditions. You've attacked my relatives and friends, and you still want to escape." Luo Feng looked at him, "You have to pay the price for what you did." As he spoke, Luo Feng's arm suddenly grew larger and he grabbed towards Chuyuan Hu. "Then come on." There was no escape, no way to avoid it. Chuyuan Hu no longer suppressed the anger that was twisting his soul. In an instant, his whole body was bathed in thunder, and his eyes were also full of thunder. He held a black stick in both hands and chopped over. Luo Feng's huge palm directly blocked the black stick. At the same time, Countless black liquids flowed on the surface of his palm, wrapping the stick and quickly wrapping towards Chuyuan. Swoosh! Marquis Chuyuan was unable to pull the stick away, so he immediately let go and retreated violently. I used all my strength to hit him with the stick but couldn't hurt him at all. Instead, the stick was taken away from him. Marquis Chuyuan felt the huge gap more clearly. Escape? Luo Feng looked at the figure that turned into thunder and shook his head gently and saw countless black liquids pouring out of his body. Although the Black Abyss transformation method was not as fast and sharp as the Galaxy transformation method, in terms of binding and entanglement, it is still better. Countless black liquids spread instantly, sweeping the entire interior of the silver ball cage, covering everything. No matter how fast you move, you can't avoid it. In his madness, Chuyuan was completely submerged in the black liquid, bound and wrapped. Wow! Luo Feng looked at the bound Chuyuan. Crack! As soon as the belief moved, hundreds of millions of units of the Black Abyss transformation technique were activated at the same time. Chuyuan's body was pulled and enlarged, but he was not hurt at all. So tough? Luo Feng was surprised. He immediately stretched out his hand, and the 4 transformation methods attached to his body, tens of billions of units of the transformation method, exploded at the same time. Luo Feng's palm, with a terrifying power that could destroy the world, directly slapped on the bound body of Chuyuan. Marquis Chuyuan was smashed into dozens of pieces of lightning flesh. Dozens of lightning flesh pieces were still extremely tough and full of endless vitality. Although broken, the divine power was not lost much. Luo Feng was surprised. I have heard that the peak of the Chaos Realm who specializes in the physical body. Although other aspects are relatively weak, the body is incredibly tough. Ordinary God Kings will have to rely on time to slowly wear it down. Luo Feng thought about it and attacked again. I saw big slaps coming one after another, and almost in the blink of an eye, Luo Feng slapped the upper palm continuously. Each attack was a full-strength explosion, with the power of tens of billions of units of the transformation method gathered together. Such continuous attacks caused the pieces of thunder meat to be shattered further, and finally turned into streams of thunder liquid. From solid to liquid. The scattered thunder liquid wants to merge and gather together. I beat him into mud and liquid. The power he lost was very little. He even recovered? Luo Feng was also speechless. Chuyuan also had a small supply of cosmic power at all times, which was restored after a little loss. No wonder he is considered to have the potential to transcend the Chaos Realm. Luo Feng also had a headache because this Chuyuan was impossible to kill. Well, at least take his weapon. Although Luo Feng obtained the weapons and secret treasures left by the 3-peak Chaos Realm Masters this time, the most precious one was still Chuyuan's stick. This is a God King level weapon. He is worthy of being a first-class Marquis. In the entire Chu capital, there were only 3 people who could see the battle scene in the silver cage. They clearly watched Luo Feng swing thousands of palms and beat Chuyuan into mud and liquid. This kid Chuyuan was practicing the 8 thunder methods inherited from the Hunyuan bloodline. He was only one step away from transforming into the Thunder Beast Junior form. One can imagine how tough his body is. Yet, he was beaten into liquid by Luo. A woman's voice was a little amazed. Luo's physical body has been cultivated to be very powerful, almost catching up to 1 or 2% of mine. A rough voice sighed, but other aspects are too rough. He will be at a disadvantage when he encounters a God King. At this moment, the Emperor was also observing Luo Feng with great interest. For them, having one more Chaos Realm Transcendent was also a happy event for the entire Emperor Chu lineage. The Emperor observed Luo Feng. This Luo, his body has the characteristics of a Chaos Layer creature. After he became a guest official, he exchanged for the first calamity of the 8 tribulations life form. Not long ago, Chu also helped him get a piece of the body material of the golden-feathered divine bird. As the Emperor of the Chu lineage, Luo Feng would naturally submit all the intelligence he collected when he arrived in Chu capital to the Emperor. The Emperor usually didn't bother to look, but now he was determined to investigate, and he learned a lot about Luo Feng. Whether it is the ancient country of flame wind or the ancient country of thunder, I have never heard of anyone being able to reach the chaos realm through the chaos layer creature body refining method. In other words, this is his own body refining method? The Emperor became interested. He had a clear vision. The chaos realm transcendence of the entire origin continent generally cultivated some special inheritances. For example, cultivating with the help of the power of the chaos source. For example, cultivating with the help of the Chuyuan materials. Only then could one reach the chaos realm level and possess the chaos realm transcendence strength. Create your own secret method to reach the state of chaos and transcendence. This represents extremely high potential. This kid Chuyu brought back a cultivator with extremely high talent. The Emperor was thinking at this moment, and the Emperor's respect for Luo Feng increased to above that of a first-class marquis. After countless years of reproduction, the royal family has long been countless. Countless royal families have been thrown into small universes to fend for themselves. From this we can see the Emperor's attitude towards the royal family. The infinite divine body of the royal family and the first-class marquises, the Emperor also holds the attitude of cultivating the descendants of the clan, and pays more attention to this Luo He, who is in the chaos realm and can create the chaos mirror transcendence secret method, may become our companion in the future. The Emperor observed Luo Feng. As an emperor, he also faced many difficulties and obstacles. Even the high and mighty ancient nation of Yangfeng was moving forward in darkness. I will carefully check his past. There are too few traces of him in the origin continent. The emperor thought, if there is no problem, I can completely win him over to my side. Di Chuyu was flying above the Marquis mansion, looking impatiently in the direction of Qinqing Tower. Suddenly, the silver cage that originally imprisoned the Thousand-Star Tower suddenly disappeared, and a figure in a black robe appeared. It was Luo Feng. Luo Feng was holding a ball of flesh in one hand, which was the Chuyuan who was tied up into a ball. This scene made Di Chuyu's heart warm. All the enemies are gone? Only Luo He is left? Di Chuyu speculated, what is the meatball in brother Luo He's hand? At this moment, Di Chuyu immediately headed towards Qinqing Tower, but the place where Qinqing Tower was empty. This is just a small punishment. If you come to provoke me again, I will make sure you suffer more torture. Luo Feng threw the meatball casually, and it was thrown far away and quickly condensed into an ugly black-haired figure. The ugly Marquis Chuyuan, covered in black hair, stood blankly in the air. Just now, he was beaten into mud, or even liquid. Chuyuan who only felt pain, as if he was trapped in an endless nightmare, and only at this moment did he regain his freedom. Is this a minor punishment? Chuyuan who glanced at Luo Feng, not daring to say anything more, and turned around and flew away quickly. Luo Feng then waved his hand and released all the buildings and practitioners inside the Thousand-Star Tower. Many practitioners excitedly looked at the man in black outside, bowed respectfully, and shouted, "Thank you, great sage. Thank you, great sage." Every practitioner was very grateful to the Chaos Great Sage. They were all high and mighty, and not many of them cared about weak lives like them. Although there will be punishment for harming innocent lives in Chudu, some ordinary practitioners with strength and status will only receive minor punishment if they accidentally harm a few people. For example, even though the people killed by Marquis Chuyuan were Emperor Chuyu's personal guards, he was only fined a few thousand merits. Luo Feng glanced at the many practitioners in Qinqing Tower and secretly sighed. There are many strong people in the origin continent who don't care much about the lives of the lower classes, and it's good enough if they don't deliberately slaughter them. It's very common to accidentally affect them. Brother Luo He. Di Chuyu walked out of the void and came close to Luo Feng. He finally dared to walk out of the Marquis mansion in person. He couldn't hold back at this moment. What's going on? Didn't Marquis Chuyuan, Marquis Chu Chi and the 3 guest officials team up to deal with you? They actually attacked the original beside me and forced me to show up. Luo Feng was angry. Of course I can't tolerate it anymore. I have to punish them. Give them some punishment? Di Chuyu blinked. 1 against 5, but it gives the opponent some punishment. Let's go to Brother Luo his cave and have a good chat. Di Chuyu felt that a great opportunity was right in front of him. Let's go. Luo Feng nodded, and immediately took Di Chuyu through the void, and returned to the cave in just 2 steps. Luoha Cave. Emperor Chuyu was also secretly amazed at Chudu's strong suppression of time and space. Chaos Realm can usually only teleport a short distance, but Luo Feng took him from Qinqing Tower to the cave in just 2 steps, which shows the means of traveling through the void. The 5 of them are against you, and you punish them. What punishment? Emperor Chuyu asked immediately. That guest Zun has the causal escape technique, and her escape is quite powerful. Luo Feng praised, she took Chujiho away, and I failed to stop them. As for the other 3, I destroyed 2 of them, took away all the treasures, and then beat Chuyuan into a pulp and took away his Divine King weapon, which can be regarded as a punishment. Luo Feng did not intend to hide it, because he needed Di Chuyu's help to sell the spoils he had collected in exchange for some training resources he needed. Di Chuyu's eyes widened. 1 against 5, a complete sweep. Only 2 of them escaped by relying on the causal escape method. Brother Luo, what is your current strength? Even Di Chuyu was a little excited. Fortunately, the golden feather divine bird feather brought by Brother Chuyu has helped my body refining secret method. My body refining secret method has finally made a step forward. Luo Feng smiled. It can be said that I have barely reached the transcendent level of the Chaos Realm, but my method of cultivating my physical body is still a bit crude. Di Chuyu said in surprise. Brother Luo was able to completely sweep the 1-on-5, so I guessed that Brother Luo must have transcended the Chaos Realm. My methods still have a lot to be improved. Luo Feng said. This is the truth. They were too rough in every aspect. It was said that a Chaos Realm Transcendent could fight a Divine King of the 1st level. Luo Feng felt that if he met a Divine King of the 1st level, he would probably be fooled by the Divine King of the 1st level. They can only bully those at the peak of the Chaos Realm. They can rely on their absolute advantage in power to break the law with force and sweep away at will. Brother Luo, you are already very strong. In our entire Dichu lineage, there are only 2 Chaos Realm Transcendents. Dichu said, you are now the 3rd Chaos Realm Transcendent in the Dichu lineage. No matter Luo Feng or the 2 Chaos Realm Transcendents before him, they were all merely guests of the Emperor Chu lineage. Your current status is completely different from the past. Di Chuyu said excitedly, many troublesome tasks are no longer troublesome with Brother Luo his strength. I can also help you with more dangerous missions in the future, but the credit will also be greater. By the way, Brother Luo are you interested in some missions on the border? Di Chuyu said. The ancient country of Yangfeng and the ancient country of Leiting are fighting fiercely along the entire border. Usually conflicts are controlled at the Chaos Realm level, so a Chaos Realm Transcendent being at the border has a huge advantage. Emperor Chuyu said that usually, a God King level conflict will only occur occasionally after tens of thousands of epochs, and at that time, the Chaos Realms will retreat. Luo Feng knew very well that the competition within the Dichu lineage was fierce, and the fight between the 13 royal lines of the Yangfeng ancient country would be even more crazy. As for the conflict between the 2 ancient countries, the main reason for the death of the God King of the entire origin continent was his participation in the war between the 2 ancient countries. The mission on the border is not urgent for now. Luo Feng said, I still need to practice in seclusion for some time. Okay, I'll listen to you, Brother Luo Di Chuyu smiled brightly. By the way, now that you have the strength to transcend the Chaos Realm, the ancestor may take a fancy to you and accept you as his personal disciple. Luo Feng's heart moved. Chaos Realm Transcendent guest officials are usually able to worship the Emperor or some powerful God King as their teacher. Di Chuyu said, you just need to wait patiently, there should be some results in the near future. Luo Feng nodded. In that case, there was no need to rush to deal with the spoils. Let's wait and see how the situation develops. This batch of spoils must be used wisely. With the end of the battle at Qinqing Tower, news about the battle was quickly organized and spread throughout the city. The conflict between the first-class marquises involved the guest officials of Luoha. Luo Hikaching was 1 against 5, and he swept them all. Chu and Zun Keqing escaped with the help of the cause and effect escape technique. The other three were unable to escape. Chuyuan, who was beaten into a meatball, and the other two were left with nothing. It is conceivable that this news shocked all parties in the capital of Chu. Chu Yufu, the Marquis' wife and 3 sons, of course, also learned of this big news given their status. Mother, uncle, he swept 5 of them alone. The eldest son was excited, and his whole body was hot. Is my uncle a Chaos Realm Transcendent? Mother, Uncle Luo, he is a Chaos Realm Transcendent. In my Dichu lineage, Uncle Luo, he is the 3rd Chaos Realm Transcendent. His strength is comparable to that of an ordinary God King. The 3 sons were very excited. This is my uncle. Then Marquis Chu and Marquis Chuyuan were blind to dare to provoke your uncle. The wife of the Marquis's mansion smiled brightly. Now they have suffered a great loss. In the recent chaotic eras, as the 7 first-class marquises, they had the weakest power and the weakest foundation, and their entire force felt a little frustrated. Just then, Chuyu walked in from outside. Father. Chuyu. The 3 sons and their wives immediately went up to greet him. Father, what about my uncle? The youngest son wanted to confirm. Ha ha ha, you should have all received the news, it's all true. Chuyu laughed heartily. My brother Luo, he is indeed a transcendent being in the Chaos Realm, but you still need to be restrained when you are out there, and don't be arrogant. Understood. The 3 sons responded immediately. Madam, let's hold a banquet tonight to celebrate for my brother Luo he. Chuyu said. Okay, I'll arrange it right away. The wife of the Marquis was also excited. Ha ha ha. Chuyu laughed as he left. He had been feeling aggrieved for so long, and was even prepared to endure it for a long time. But now that a surprise had come, his path would be much smoother from now on. Among the 7 first-class marquises, only Emperor Chuyu had a guest official who transcended the Chaos Realm. This video will end here.